Hi, everybody. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. We've got an amazing panel for you today. It's going to be, I think, really therapeutic, especially if you've done GISH before. You've probably been accustomed to the word no many times, or even no dealing with it yourself. Are you able to pull this off? I don't think, there's a bit of no that happens, I think, in GISH, and we got to get comfortable with no. We got to get desensitized to this word that is a part of daily life. And who better to talk to than someone who's expertly gone through a great deal of rejection on purpose to find the other side of that. So I just want to do a couple of quick announcements. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes, great. Okay, so it's day 6, only 2 days left after this. Make it count. Go for it, really go for it. Push your boundaries, do your best. Go for that art that you didn't think you could. If you don't think something turned out the way it was supposed to, submit it anyway. Take chances, be bold. We're seeing great submissions so far. And by great, I mean, not only like technically great, but we're seeing people who are pushing themselves to new heights and new limits. And we love that. So definitely keep going. A quick update on Change a Life. Our Change a Life launched yesterday. In a mere less than 24 hours, we are already over 75% of our goal. You're incredible. Misha and I were just talking about how incredible you were, that you never back down from these challenges. And when someone is in need, you're there to support them. It's an incredible, incredible community, and we thank you for that. Keep up the good work, though. And remember, we don't want you to donate. We want you to go out and ask others to donate. So, I mean, this panel is perfect for that. So if someone says, no, I don't want to ask people to donate, the task itself, the GISH challenge, is to get others to donate. So we're not asking you to do it, though you can. Your word is important, so if you don't have the finances to contribute as well, that's the point of this exercise. Read the rules and commandments. Don't forget to upload your original content, not screenshots of social media. If we have a social media item, put the link in that comment. Just follow the description of that item there. We want your original content as high res as you can make it. Item 198, the kindness map. 8 around the world and 8 kindnesses. Your team is doing 8 kindnesses in 8 countries. It's starting to fill up. We love this map. Go out there and do an act of kindness and then document it with a pin on that map. Hydrate, take care of yourself, get some rest. There's a lot to cover here, and we have 2 more days. So we want you to, go out there and do your best. And remember, don't share anything to social media unless we ask you to, because we want you to hold that back. After the hunt, we'll announce that so that you can do that. And what else can I tell you? Yeah, we have a Q&A function here today for our panelists, Jiang. And let me tell you a little bit about Jia. Jia is an entrepreneur, a blogger, a TED speaker. Hey, Jia. I'm going to just toot your horn for a minute because that's what horns are for. Jia has done an incredible thing. Jia went through 100 days of rejection on purpose to see what would happen when he set foot into that realm of no and see what happens on the other side. So I'm really excited to talk to you today, Jia. Let's just get into it, huh? How you doing? You know what? I'm having trouble hearing you. Let me just double check that I can.
Oh, hey, I was on mute. I got rejected with the mute button. So
we're already starting off with rejection. Perfect. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Good. So I want to dive right into it because GISHers obviously are working real hard. Your time is valuable. Tell us about the 100 days of rejection. What did you do?
So basically, I tried to overcome my own fear of rejection, which has helped me back for a long time. I just spent every day I would try to go get rejected on purpose for something. I did this for 100 days, and it started out just innocent enough that after a while, people started following this, and people started sharing the videos and got millions of views. So I started kind of doing this as a group, as a community, kind of like GISH, but without the other people doing it, just me and doing it.
You by yourself getting rejected over and over again. And so the rejections though that you had some criteria for those rejections. What can you tell us about that? Like what were the standards that you went for?
Yeah, so basically, they can break laws or my personal moral code. Like, a lot of people ask me, "Hey, Jiang, why did you ask a hot girl out?" And that's a very common request. But I'm married, don't want to get in trouble. So there's that, and also you cannot break any physical boundaries, right? I can't ask people to do something too crazy that's not possible. But also, it got to be something really cool, something I feel like if I get a yes, I'll be very happy to do. So those are the boundaries I set for myself, and I just start doing them.
And so tell us some of the rejections you set up for yourself on purpose. What were some of the requests that you made where you were rejected?
Yeah, I tried to get a burger refill
burger refill
after a burger. And I try to I try to make safety announcements on a plane, and I try to get a haircut at PetSmart.
Wait! You tried to get a haircut at a PetSmart?
And yeah, I tried. Yeah, the grooming. Yeah, they give me like German Shepherd cut or a Chow Chow cut, and that's what I was going for.
So we talked earlier in the week, and you had mentioned this to us, and I don't know if you know this, but we put it into the hunt list here as to pay homage to you. And I just wanted to show you a couple of things that happened in the process because we already have people who've attempted this. Do you want to see what happened?
I want to see what happens so much.
Okay. First of all, did you get rejected? I
got rejected myself.
Okay. And what was the response when you got rejected?
The guy, the girl, like the woman, she was like a groomer, and she's just laughing. Like she's never heard this before. I'm like, can I get a haircut?
Well, I'm happy to say that Gishers are a persistent bunch. So I'm going to show you some of the examples of what we've seen so far. We've gotten hundreds of images. I mean, I can't even count them all. Let's just show what happened here. So I don't know if you can see this, but here's one. This is Team Second Breakfast Brigade going in for, yep. But they also may have to make sure that they're attached to the leash. You never know. Here, that looks comfortable, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, people really went for it, and that's what we like to see at GISH. People are, they're trying to get that cut, all in honor of your rejection.
That's amazing. I have to say, that's amazing. Like I did this for myself. I got rejected, but it was the power of GISH. It's all magnified. It's all escape. Yeah. So someone would have gotten a yes. But it goes to show that there's no universal rejection. You would think something weird is that, like, there's no way I get a yes, right? But you can see people can get yes. So if you talk to enough people, if you do this like long enough and with many times enough, you can get a yes.
So true. So what inspired you to actively seek out this rejection? You said there was part of it was the fear. So tell us about the journey of getting to that point where you're like, I want to explore what it is to be rejected.
Yeah, so I wanted to be an entrepreneur my whole life, but I ever since I got into school, college, and I try to live up to other people's expectations, my families and my friends, and try to do the normal thing, find a job and kind of a corporate thing. And then afterward, I just feel like I've been held back for so long. I just want to be myself. I want to be this entrepreneur. I want to take that risk. So after I quit my job and started doing, building this company, and I got rejected by investments, and I just wanted to quit right away. And I was like, this is the microcosm of my life, because I've been held by this fear so much. It prevented me from taking a risk. And when I did, the first rejection I got, I would try to find a reason to quit. So that's why I was like, I can build a better team, a better company, but I gotta be a better person. I have to solve that rejection problem. And so that's what led to this whole journey of rejection therapy.
And so it led you to doing a TED Talk. It led you to, you wrote a book. You have a website too. You have some amazing cards too. That you have a playing card as well,
Yes.
right?
Yes, go to rejectiontherapy.com. You're gonna see it.
Awesome. And so most people, I think, we have some normalcy in us. We have some fear of rejection, or we're averse to being rejected. How did seeking out that rejection help, help you through the feelings of being averse to it? How did it inure you to it?
Yeah. So we live in a I think GISH is tapping into this, right? But we live a pretty normal life. Everyone has routines. You basically wake up to see the same people, go to the same place to work, and see the same people, do this kind of same thing, and go back to the same place, and that circle goes on and on, right? So to break very quickly, we get institutionalized. We think about that in prison, but actually life is like that, right? You go into the routine, and following that pattern is tough to take risks. It's tough to see things that are like different. So as soon as I stop going look for rejection, is something that normal people wouldn't do. I start seeing the world very differently. All kind of opportunities opened up, all kind of, especially in my own minds. So before, I feel like if I follow this routine, I'll get a certain results. It just goes and goes. But now I broke that routine. I start exposing myself to the world as it is. And I found there's actually a lot of hidden opportunities, and people are actually a lot kinder than you think. And also it goes to a lifelong philosophy of, hey, if you just open yourself up to the world and pursue this, and not be afraid, and do it in the right and kind way, right? Don't do it in an aggressive and obnoxious way, but do it in a kind way, so to have a good experience for yourself, but also for the other people. At the end, you're gonna have a much higher chance to succeed and do something amazing.
And that persistence, that being desensitized a bit to no, obviously, like, consent is very important, and being kind in the request is very important, but
Yep.
not being afraid of no, especially when it matters to you, is so important. We're asking people to do a lot of things that are probably going to get them a lot of no's. We have one item, for example, that is getting an Oscar winner to pick their nose with their Academy Award. I'm assuming that people are getting a lot of no's on that one. But what was the funniest? What were some of the funniest no's that you got along the way?
Yeah, so I already mentioned some of them, but I try to just I went to a news station and a TV station and try to do their weather report. I try to I knock on a professor's door to say, can I teach your class? Actually, I got a yes on that, because I was able to, yeah, and the professor let me give a guest lecture for his whole class, and I kind of fulfilled my dream, because I come from a family of teachers. Sometimes you and your dreams are not that far away if you just aim high enough, and then work for it. I mean, I didn't go in just to say, hey, I want to teach your class. I actually came in with a whole iPad full of lectures, like the things I want to teach. I got prepared, and the professor was impressed and got a yes. So if you have the courage, but also coming prepared, that's a lethal combination for you and your dreams.
I love that. I love that. I know there's a quote that says, like, luck is opportunity meeting somebody who's ready. And what you're talking about is essentially like making the opportunity by making the request, doing it in a kind way, and then being ready for it. I mean, you're right. It's a total lethal combination. Were there any things besides that guest lecture that you got a yes on that you didn't anticipate, where you just had to ask and then suddenly it happened?
A ton. Like I would knock on someone's door, and I had a soccer ball, say, can I play soccer in your backyard? And he let me in. I started playing soccer in it's in a stranger's backyard. And I was able, and I was able to drive a police car, and one day I was like, hey, can I drive it? And I tried to give a good reason. And yeah, I got, like, in the end, I got 51 yes and 49 no's. I got more yes than no's.
Wow.
And yeah, and it just goes to show that, sometimes it's just, you gotta ask and have a fun spirit about it. I think I'm preaching to the choir here with the GISH crowd, right? You do it with a fun spirit. You don't do it with like, oh, I gotta get this. The more anxious you are, the more results oriented you are. Sometimes it's harder, the harder it is to get. But sometimes you just like relax and say, hey, I want to see this can happen, and then things becomes easier.
That's awesome. Were there any rejections? I think because there are people here who, you know, might feel anxious, like you're talking about, might feel like they're worried about saying no. Were there? It sounds like you got stronger about your requests and got stronger about asking as you went along. But were there any rejections that really stung, or that you really wanted and were focused on the result that you didn't get?
Not really, because here's the mentality that, I mean, of course, if you want something, like sometimes you want a business, sometimes you want a job. If you think we're getting to dream school,
Yeah.
you didn't get in, you didn't get it. I mean, it would sting. But what I learned is people have the right to say no to you. Okay, just like the fact that you have the right to ask, you give them the right to say no. That give yourself the permission to ask, right? You do it in a kind way, in a non-aggressive way, but also present your best argument. And then when you do that, people say no, that can still be a good experience. It's when you like, I have to get this. If you don't get this, I'm gonna go crazy, or I'm gonna be really mad and try to force that. That's where the conversation doesn't get really good. I'll give you one example, share one example where the experience was not is probably the worst one, but that still wasn't that bad. Is where I went to I don't know why I like to do things with the hair, that's related to hair, but I went to a salon and tried to cut the hairdresser's hair and say, "Can I cut your hair?" And but she just busted out laughing, right? But then I give a pretty bad reason. Sometimes it's about the reasoning, and you can give a good reason or a neutral reason, but I give a bad reason. It's like, hey, your job must be boring, and I'm trying to spice up your job. And then she got offended. She's like, hey, my job is fun. I love my job. So that's one experience, like really 1 out of 100, where I feel like, okay, this is not as good experience as it could have been because because I give a bad reason.
Interesting. Yeah, there's somebody here who's asked, Lisa asked, how do you conquer the negative thoughts post-rejection? Do those thoughts ever go away? I mean, that's a good example. But how do we cope with the negative feeling from a no? Do you have any tips there?
Yeah. So the best way to mitigate that is to look for a no. To be like, I'm actually gonna win here. If I get a no, that's a win. If I get a yes, somewhat that's also a win. So sometimes you get a yes and I'm like, I have to get a no. So when you get a yes, you're like, you do it, then you try it again. So if you switch up that your mindset, if you make that your goal, that's not that bad because you just won. So and then the more you do that, you really just desensitize yourself from that pain. You kind of fall back. I feel like I have a mindset I can tap into where I can do this, whether it's during a business pitch or trying to raise fund or just trying to do stuff at church. Like I try to, when I did this 100 days, every time I make those requests, I tap into that mindset, saying, okay, I'm good. Then afterward, when I get that negative feeling, what I try is like, okay, I'm gonna try again. Let's have some more fun. Let's see how I can tweak it. So I have this kind of mentality where if you do this enough, you're gonna know like what to do. You're gonna be like feeling you're gonna naturally be able to kind of mitigate that bad feeling that comes with it.
That's great. And do you have any other tips on embracing no? It sounds like so far that you're saying that in learning to embrace no from someone else, we're learning to embrace no for ourselves and being able to say no as well, which is a really important thing. Putting up boundaries for ourselves is important. And so that goes both ways, right? But do you have any other tips to embrace that rejection and use it as a tool for success?
Yeah. So, okay, a lot of times we think about life in a way as to mitigate rejection, right? To almost like, okay, I'm gonna get a bunch of yeses, and the more yeses I get, the more closer I am to my goals. So it's almost like a path of least resistance. But that always leads to mediocrity. It doesn't lead to success. The people who made a real impact in the world, if you look back in history, Martin Luther King Jr., if you look at Nelson Mandela, if you look at Mahatma Gandhi or Lincoln, all those people, when they were setting out their pursuit to those big goals, they were rejected violently. Sometimes even in a gruesome results. I mean, 3 out of those 4 people I mentioned got assassinated. Another one was in jail for over 20 years, right? You can't get any more rejected than that, right? But the thing is, they didn't let rejection dictate their response. They let their own reaction toward rejection dictate, history. So anytime you want to make something a big change, you want to make some impactful change, you're not going to get fewer rejections. You're going to get more rejections because you're striking a nerve. You're impacting a lot of people's, their norms. That's why you're going to get rejected. However, if you embrace your tribe, if you don't give up, you're going to eventually make a big impact. So when people are telling me, hey, I don't get rejected, or maybe I did this without rejection, I'm like, well, is that impactful enough? The real impact you're going to have a lot of rejections. So in this way, having fewer rejections might not be a good thing.
Yeah, I love the way you're framing that, we're not bringing everything that we have to bring if we're afraid of someone saying no to what we want or what we are seeking to do. If we still seek to do that and we get the rejection, that means we've met the line of the boundary of where we need to be pushing on. It's so true. The list of challenges that we have, many of them are designed to spark a no internally, externally, and then push through that. So what you're talking about is so important. And I will be putting up the resources too that Jia has here, so that we can make sure that you can avail yourself of those resources and keep pushing. I also want to just do a shout out to, we have a Facebook group called the GISH Bunker, where you can join other people and sort of embrace each other through the no, use their support system through those no's, and where we say collaborate, but just being able to talk to other people and see other people that are getting no, maybe we can also help desensitize that a little bit. Let's take some questions, shall we?
All right, let's
take
do
some
it.
questions from the audience. Yeah, Danielle asked, stage fright is one of the biggest fears of rejection you can have. How do you get over that? Is there a way that you prepare for speaking engagements or things that scare you, or you're afraid of rejection? How do you prepare yourself?
Yeah, I did not start it out as a speaker. English isn't my first language, and that's all I worried about when I first started. So and then when I started getting speaking engagement, like these invites, I'm like, how do I train myself? So I started out just doing the things I know, which is I held up a sign. I went to downtown Austin. I used to live there then. I went to downtown Austin and held up a sign saying, I'm not going to do a published speech, and stop by if you're interested. Stop if you're interested. I give myself I'm gonna start speaking at 7:30. And when 7:30 came and no one stopped. People were just driving by. They were like, this is a crazy guy. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give myself a little more time. So I changed from 7:30. So I erased the whiteboard to 7:50. And when 7:50 came, no one stopped. I'm like, okay, I can call it a day. But you know what? I need to get rejected. I'm getting suddenly rejected, but I need to get rejected in face. So I just went and talked to someone and say, hey, I'm gonna give a speech. It's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be very short. Would you want to listen to it? And before she was like, sure. Okay. When I hear the word sure, I just start speaking. And then I drew a crowd from 1 person to 3 to 5. At the end, there were like 10 people. When I'm done and they give me a standing crowd, they give me a standing ovation. They're all standing anyway, so that counts. But it was my first speaking engagement. So you use these type of opportunities, and I know if I fail, I know if I just if I bomb, whatever. Hey, these are strangers. I asked them to stop by. That's okay. But when I did that, right, later on when I have some real speaking engagement where I was sharing the stage with some heavy hitters and scientists, and when I was afraid, I'm like, oh man, how can I measure up? Then I thought, hey, none of these people actually went on the street to speak, to strangers, and I did that. So by having that experience, really gave me a lot of confidence, and also it made it fun, So when you don't take things too seriously, things become fun, and you become a lot more relaxed.
So true. And by the way, I love that you got a standing ovation by making sure everybody was standing when you're giving your talk. It's genius. But it's great that you're like, hey, I'm getting a standing ovation. Like, that's a great way. Like, you can reframe any of these experiences at any time. The way you get the rejection, the way success looks like. I mean, it's important to, if it bolsters you and keeps you going and keeps you going toward a noble goal or a creative goal, I think it's important that we, find something that keeps us going. So in that example that you gave, actually, we have one here that's, I think, is important, because a lot of times when we're going after something, sometimes we don't get an outright no, and there's sort of a vacuum of space or an empty space there between you and the goal, and there's not even a rejection, it's just ignorance. Sarah asks, how do you cope with just being ignored? Being ignored is sort of a rejection, but it's a little bit more open-ended. Does that feel different? Are there ways to cope with that differently?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So sometimes whether you're dealing with a person or organization, right? You feel like you're getting ghosted, and you can hit them on different channels. I mean, what I would do is I would set a number in my mind, or I would write it on a sticker, on a sticky note, and I put it on the wall, and I say, all right, how many rejections, how many tries do I make? 10, 20, right? If I do 10, I better do 10. So when I get ignored, when I try something, then I subtract 1 from that number, and I will not stop until I hit 0. When I hit 0, I'm done, because I feel like I have no regret. I give all this request, like every request is worth certain number of rejections. If it's something just fun, maybe it's worth 1 rejection, then I'm done. But if it's like a dream job, maybe it's 30, maybe it's 100 rejections. If that's the health of my child, maybe it's infinite. So I determine the worth of this request first. And every time I got rejected, I just subtract 1 to it. And then in the meantime, I have some fun, right? Now I just turn rejection from something very negative to gasoline, because gasoline is another thing that you wouldn't stop until it hits 0, right? So that's how I try to change the mindset. And when you try to hit people on these requests and we get ignored, try different channels. If your email is getting not getting response, try LinkedIn. LinkedIn not getting response, try Twitter. I don't know, try Instagram. Like, try different things, and then when you hit the number, quit.
Amazing. We have somebody here, Don, who was on the beta for your 100 Days of Rejection app, and it was life-changing. What are the odds you'll be doing another challenge list soon?
It's actually on a different priority right now. So for the past few months, I started working on this a new blog. It's a cross between personal finance and also personal development. So it's called a Love Investor. Loveinvestor.com, not S, just one Love Investor. So that's my focus right now. But if you're on my list, sooner or later I'll do a challenge. I love doing challenges for myself and other people.
Yeah, I know. When we started talking, we started talking about the sort of similarities between the challenge and the creativity of the communities. It's so cool. Well, I think the biggest thing is rejectiontherapy.com. Go check it out, everybody. Jai, you're doing incredible work, and we hope that you got a lot out of this. Actually, in fact, I'm gonna just try something here real quick. I'm just gonna, let's see. There we go. Hold on. I'm gonna try something out here.
All right.
I'm just gonna do a little experiment, because I'm a little bit of a chaos merchant. Let's be honest with you.
All right.
I'm just gonna do something real quick here. Let's see what happens. And I'm sure the mods right now are like, "What are you doing, Charlie? What is happening?" Raise your hand if you're afraid of rejection. Raise your hand. Okay, good. Hi, Alex. I just wanted to say no. No. No.
No.
No. Just blanket no. Is that okay? No. Nope. All right, good. We just did it. How are you feeling about my no right now?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I wanted to say no, and now you know what? You've been rejected, and now listen, my rejection is meaningless. Who cares, right?
Exactly.
Have you gotten any no's this week during GISH?
Most of my projects have been indoors, so okay. No.
No. And you haven't felt any no that came from inside you? You felt like, all right, I'm going to create all these things and do them?
Yes. Like I can't do that.
Right. All right. And how are you feeling about that after hearing Ja?
That I should not reject myself.
There you go. Are you gonna give him a shot? See what happens.
Alex, that's a great takeaway. That's a great takeaway. We're our worst rejector. You know, we reject ourselves way more than anyone else. So don't reject yourself. Oh, that's great.
And definitely don't reject the dog either. The dog definitely needs lots of validation and love. Bye, Alex.
Bye.
Ja, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. We're so grateful for you. And please go check out rejectiontherapy.com. We'll put up links to everything. This video will be in the list if you want to watch it again. You know, Ja also has these amazing playing cards that have prompts on them. They're in his best-selling book, Rejection Proof, is also there on rejectiontherapy.com. So go check that out as well if rejection is something that you struggle with.
Yeah, share your story with me. I want to connect with you guys. So feel free to write
Awesome.
me emails and I read all of them. So
all right. So finally, we have a little challenge for you here, along with the rejection therapy. Got to catch them all. Rejections, that is. You want to be the very best, like no one ever was. And to do that, you have to collect as many rejections as you can between now and the end of the hunt. Create a Pokemon-style trading card set of 3 of the lovable no monsters you collected, detailing what you asked for, how powerful a no it was, and how the experience strengthened you in some way. So we're going to be adding that to item 7. And go follow Ja on social media right here, Jiang. We've got bit.ly/JaJiang for YouTube, and on Facebook at 100 Days Rejection as well. Thank you, Ja. And tomorrow, I'm sorry, not tomorrow, today at 1 p.m., we're going to be joined by Academy aficionado and his trophy best friend here, Misha, to talk a little bit about, well, you'll see. I can't reveal it quite yet. They have things in store. I'm sure it will be chaotic. I'm sure it will be quite a lot of stuff happening. So join us then at 1 p.m. Woo! It's gonna be a ride. All right. Thank you, Ja.
thank you, Charlie. Thank you, everyone.